Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to the channel where we stack chips on the daily. Thank you for joining us this evening. Got a jam-packed episode for you guys. I'm talking about the market recently, what's been going on, as well as some forward-looking statements around the market this coming week, this coming month, the rest of this year. Things are changing right now in the market, right? So we'll get into that in this episode. So thanks for clocking in with us. This is something that I do sparingly right now when I have the time. Got a lot going on, but always want to drop some content for you guys on what's going on in the market so you can stay up to date. I know we are in the Discord, sending out alerts, posting charts, sending information on the market. So keep everybody involved, everybody in the know, because that's really the type of market that we're in right now. You got to know what's going on to be able to make money. And if you're not in the know, like you kind of late right now. So kick things off. Uh, S&P 500 has been like found a bottom. Maybe the last week or so, week and a half, 2 weeks. In that 480 range and then has been bullish ever since. So as you can see, CNBC posted an article talking about how this is the fifth straight winning day for the S&P 500. Kind of unheard of recently with all the news talking about tariffs, everything that's going on around the world, and the U.S. kind of um, gonna see inflation when it comes to pricing, right? We don't produce everything here. So if we're going to charge companies more to sell their products here, a lot of companies are pushing that those costs on the consumers when it comes to things like shipping for goods made in China or pretty much goods coming from outside of the United States, right? Everything we have to import is seeing some sort of tariff, and some things are like getting omitted when it comes to tariffs. So they've relaxed a lot of the tariffs on some things, but you got to be in the know, like I said. So S&P back up for the fifth straight day. Do we go 6 days? I don't know, but it's been a rally ever since, and kind of the way this rally feels is like it's kind of pent up, bullish, pent up bulls. Honestly, the Bears have been in full control for the majority of the past 2 months, since the end of February, beginning of March, and now we're like late April, closing out this month. It's looking like the Bulls are like fighting back. So we're seeing some rising in the stocks. Even after hours, a lot of these moves are happening. So what I say about the S&P, 5 straight days straight up, great opportunity to jump in the market and really not miss when it comes to tech. Earnings is coming up this week. So all last week leading up to earnings, we've had green days. So does that change with earnings? Is it kind of companies going to miss their target, miss estimates? We'll see. But later on this week, we do have a lot of companies on the earnings video, right? This looks so ugly. All right. So jumping right into earnings this week, starting on the 28th, we had NXP report after hours tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day. Like tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, big day. Tomorrow, we got Sophie, some of the banking payment platforms like PayPal, UPS. Interesting to see UPS doing a lot of shipping and handling. They they're probably passing on costs to the consumer. JetBlue, Coca Cola, Spotify, aftermarket, got Visa, Starbucks, Snapchat. Wednesday, Microsoft, Meta, Robinhood. Thursday, Apple. need I say more? Thursday, Apple report. So, and then Friday, we have a lot of the oil type companies reporting, along with Wendy's and stuff like that. So, earnings this week is jam packed. It's something every day, open, after close. So, be on the lookout for that. I don't play earnings typically. It's 9 times out of 10 a gamble for the most part. After the earnings get interesting. So I want to point to a company like Lilly that has ran up the past couple of days prior to earnings. The market's been green. Lilly's been really green. Been one of the market leaders, I would say, along with like a Tesla, but really been moving. So I would keep an eye on these companies post earnings, see what they're doing, see what type of news they're dropping. I know Microsoft, Meta, all have news every day. And watch the volume, right? The volume on these stocks really tell a lot about whether there's a lot of buyers in the tape, a lot of sellers, and it helps you pick sides when you're doing options. So that is the earnings this week. Going to jump on over to the economic calendar today. Like, this stuff really drives the market for the most part. Like, all these events don't really move the market, but a lot of them do. I know that's like not really saying much, but as we move through the week, this week, Tuesday, job openings this after Tuesday morning at 10. So all right, so jumping into the economic calendar this week, didn't have much today, but I feel like around that 10:30, 11 o'clock hour today, the market moved. Like, there was a significant move down in the S&P and other equities that I'm not sure if something happened then or some insider information was dropped, but it definitely felt like there was some type of news this morning. But nothing was scheduled. Tomorrow we have trade, retail, wholesale, consumer confidence, key indicators on a lot of these topics. Be on the lookout for that news in the morning. Start at 8:30. Last thing is at 10. The job openings for March. So they're gonna kind of fix the March numbers, and then later on in this week we got the PCE on Wednesday, employment, ADP, personal income for March, or PCEs. As we move forward in the week, a lot more events that can move the market. Not a spoiler, but next week is the Fed meeting. So a lot of this information is important as we move into next week on Wednesday when Fed Chair Powell has his press conference and talks about whether he's going to cut rates or he's not going to cut rates. Right now, kind of consensus around the market is he's not going to cut rates. As the president would say, he's slow to move. He's always late, quoting the president there. But Powell is going to he's patient. He's going to do what he feels is needed for the current economic scene. He's not going to, he's going to wait on the data. Like, that's been Powell's stance for the past, since COVID. Like, hey, I want to see the data and then we'll move our number, right? We're not moving our number unless data confirms us that we need to move our number. So that may be why Trump calls him late. He wants him to kind of anticipate what move's going to happen. But Powell's not that type of guy. He's going to sit and wait. So we'll see next week. But a lot of information coming this week on the numbers. So yeah, stay tuned for that stuff. Be ready because they will move the market. All right. So jumping into today, the heat map around how the market reacted to the weekend. Jumping into today, how the market reacted over the weekend. Here's the heat map. Technology sector, a lot of the infrastructure type companies, software, Palantir, almost coming back to all-time highs around that 120 area. Semiconductors, healthcare, Gilead Sciences, T-Mobile. Yeah, so there's a lot of green on this, a lot of red also. Nvidia um, down 2% on the day to day. Not seeing a lot from that semiconductor sector, but yeah, well, INTC up 2%, Tesla up 33%. I mean, not even a percent, under a percent, kind of. Tesla opened up high and then came back down, but we'll dive into Tesla more when we go on the charts. Aerospace, yeah. Always check out the heat map just to see what was going on in the market, see if I missed anything, because this kind of lays out the whole S&P 500 index, which I trade 80% of the time. So I always want to check this out and see what's going on in here. But yeah, all right. All right, so this is the weekly. No, this is actually the monthly of the S&P 500. And man, look at this. Look at this monthly chart. This monthly candle. This monthly candle looks crazy. Like I've never seen a monthly candle like this before. Maybe in 2020, early 2020, we kind of got around that area, but the next month we were right back at it, right? So, do we see a repeat of that? I'm not sure. Zoom in a little bit on the weekly. Very tight so far this week on this candle. Not a lot of range. So, when I look at a chart like this, I want to like kind of just take it all in. Just look at it with like fresh eyes and say, all right, what do I see here? Okay, we went up, we came down, we went up, we came down, we went up, we came down, then we came down, right? It's like kind of skipping a rock across the pond type of thing. But here in this area, we got a lot of range in the candles. When I say range, I mean this candle is maybe 3%, 18 points, right? This candle right here is 50 points, 9%, right? This candle right here is 5%. This is not typical from these 1%, $8, less than that, not even a percent, $1. You know what I mean? This is even what? Not much of a percent, 4% candle. So these are a lot of range in the market right now. And so far this week, to close out April, we haven't seen a lot of range. Will the trend continue due to all the uncertainty in the new presidency? We've seen a lot of range, a lot of volatility in the market. Our investors kind of wait until next week for Powell to come in and say what he got to say about is he going to raise rates or not. I think it's a lot of that, which can kind of at the bottom make the volume. But we've seen last week pretty much mirroring the week before volume wise after that spike when the pause happened. So I'll be definitely watching the volume as we get into like Wednesday um, for the following week. But right now, it's too early to tell. And then looking at this weekly chart, gonna zoom in a little bit more on the daily, like range. Not a lot of range today. Kind of closed out. Bears and the Bulls are in a tough fight. So we got this very thin candle. It's a lot of built up here. So I feel like we're definitely going to pick a direction tomorrow where we're going with SPY. And I got my levels filled out here, 550 for that like kind of pivot under 550. I like it for that 4 hour close and over 550. I think we continue to go up. 570 kind of being the top of the range right now, unless if with news like good earnings reports for the rest of the week, Spotify, Apple, some other company report, Microsoft, Meta, those companies have some good earnings reports. I think we can see that 570 level this week. But if not, I got my levels marked out, right? So we've already got through that 20-day moving average. We're approaching the 50-day on the day chart. And then that 200-day is right in that 563, 562, 564 level. By the time we get there, a lot of charts are attacking that 200-day moving average if they haven't got there yet, right? On the day and the 4 hour. Zooming in here, past couple of days have either been it's been like two sessions, right? I always like to tell folks in the Discord there's like two sessions throughout the day. There's a morning session before 1:30, and then there's an afternoon session after 1:30, right? That morning session, for the most part, picks a direction, right? First 30 minutes, really volatile, maybe chopping on one direction, turn around, go the other direction. Buyers and sellers are moving in and out of the market as the market opens, and then it really picks a direction, right? So that's the way I trade SPY, and it typically works for me for the most part based off of my levels. But we've been seeing that, right? So this morning we opened up at 551, ran up to about 554, and then maybe by 10 o'clock, 10:30, when the news or when something happened, we dropped, right? Then around that 1:30 time frame, we opened that candle up and we went the opposite direction, right? We reclaimed that level and now things look bullish again, right? So one thing I like to do is always draw out like some levels that were important in the past. So I had this level. I let folks know in the Discord, hey, this 545, 546 levels really important. It's a lot of support here because we were in this area for a couple of times, right? We got close to it, couldn't break through, dropped down, right? Got close to it, couldn't break through, broke through it, definitely broke through it, came back down, went through it. Here we are back at this area, right? And we really rallied off of this 545 area for the later half of today, which is really a bullish signal for me. There's a lot of bulls in the tape, a lot of buyers buying the bid. So what this chart looks like to me is, hey, do we reclaim this? What is this? The 100-day moving average, right? If we do we move to the 200-day moving average? I always like to take it day by day. So we'll see at open and we'll react to what the market gives us based on the data. So we do got some data in the morning, as I mentioned, at 8:30, 9, 10 a.m. So be on the lookout for that. But the levels I'm watching tomorrow on SPY are this 550 level, a 555 area. We break through that cleanly on a 4 hour close. I think we continue higher. So we'll go ahead and mark this out right here at the bottom of this candle. Yep. And as you see, we rallied from off here before, right? So we get to that level, it may turn into some chop around that 545, 544 level. But we get there, I do want to see a 4 hour close over that. Then I'll be looking higher. I would buy calls if we on a 4 hour close over 554, and then put underneath that. All right. That's my outlook on SPY for tomorrow. Gonna jump into Tesla. All right, jumping into Tesla here. I got the weekly chart pulled up. Tesla's been moving over the past week. Great stock. Seen a lot of gains on Friday of last week where it really ran hard. Jump over to the daily chart. Big day, 20, 25 point day, up 10% basically. Those days are here in this market with this all this range, right? So jump back over to the weekly. Tesla's at an important level right now It's getting really tight right here in this level. Kind of found support here at this 50-day moving average on the weekly chart and trying to push through the 20-day moving average. So I like Tesla pushing through that 20-day moving average. We bought calls on this today. It wasn't able to push through like this low, this 272, 270 area where we wicked up here earlier. So Tesla's been bullish, right? It's one of those stocks that are once it gets moving, a lot of buyers flood to it because it's a lot of hype around Tesla, all the things it has coming down the pipeline, from robots to self-driving cars to I don't know what else they got. Let me know in the comments what else Tesla has going on. But yeah, once it gets moving, it typically gets ahead of steam and keeps moving up for a while. So we're banking on the momentum here with Tesla. Oh, we do have a tight stop on this. Jumping into the 4 hour, Tesla 300 is my next target. Today we ran up to 294, 295. Early morning, opened up in this area, opened up, ran up, came back down to test support, and support confirmed, and then we rallied off of support. So want to see Tesla open up at least in this 285, 280 area to see the next level, next leg up to the 200 day and through 300. So tomorrow for Tesla, I'm watching these levels, uh, 285 area, 293 to 300. And that's all I got tonight when it comes to charting. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe so we can keep the content coming for you.